Hello, hello, hello. I'm gonna go do the other Mega real quick, and then what I may end up doing is bum rushing some side quests. In this situation, Aegislash has the highest attack, and I think special attack too. Let's check real quick. If you go down, obviously he's in defense position. When he's in attack mode, he's got like 144. Yeah, he is a stage 2. I will give him that. But at the same time, he's also just really, really, really hard hitting. So if it comes down to something like this, where I may not exactly have advantage, because again, I'm not really aware of what happens against poison. It's probably psychic. I feel like technically it's the other way around. Psychic probably speaks of poison. Anyway, it's probably like fire, or not fire. It's like ground, and obviously steel resists poison. But anyway. It's grass, but I should be using use Aegislash simply because it hits really, 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 really hard. And even though I only have 2 moves, Swords Dance, and then those 2 moves should help me push through to being okay. that I need the Contra to go to Gengar, and then I would have technically a second Mega. And Banette technically has a Mega, but we have to earn that eventually. I don't know if any other ghosts have any. So realistically, I'm waiting to get the Banette one, and then that's really my only two options. This is a cool interaction. Wait, oh, come on, really? What the crap is this? Okay, so instead of getting a different generation, which I get it, they all have Mega forms, we're just doing the exact same thing from X and Y. We'll go to the professor partway through the game and be like, oh, here's a second starter. Really? Like, okay, sure. But, like, I would have liked 3 new choices with 3 new Megas. That would have been better. Alright. Obviously, we can't use any of them. But I will say this. On the gift-only run, this will actually be really useful because there's 3 Pokemon that I can grab once I'm free from, what is it? Once I go to do the first set of investigations, then you get more quests. There's 3 Pokemon you can pick up that would be considered gifts, simply because they join you, along with Absol. You have the starter that you pick, and then the 3 original starters from X and Y. What was it, like Fennekin, Croaky, and Chespin. You get all of those. You get Absol, and then now you get them. And I think, honestly, I do hate the fact that the original X and Y starters, you don't get their stones. They decided, hey, go play multiplayer, that's how you get their stones, and I'm sitting here going, cool, I'm playing on alternate accounts to have different saves to do runs. And you're telling me I don't have access to the basic Mega Stones for these Pokemon. Thank you. I hate you. So, if you don't have online, obviously you can't get the stones, which means any subsequent playthroughs where you don't have access to online, you will never be able to use their Megas, which is really stupid. Anyway, I actually do need to check to see if I can even do mystery gifts. Can I? Hold on. Yeah, because it's right there. I'll have to wait for a second. Anyway, rambling continues. Absol Megas, your starter Megas, all 3 of the X and Y starters now, air quotes, now have Megas. And then, of course, these 3 have Megas. If I were to do the gift run, Fennekin is a Fire Psychic, but if you do Charmander, that would be a Fire Dragon, if you did, of course, the black one. Or you could just do Pure Water, which is Blastoise, which you already have Greninja for. Then if you do Bulbasaur, then you would have, instead of Pure Grass, I think, with Meganium, you have Grass Poison. In this scenario, I'm going to pick my homeboy Bulbasaur because that's the one that I pick. Not just because it beats, you know, the Brock Trainer and Misty, or Brock and Misty, but because I do have a lot of fun with Bulbasaur. He's also just kind of like the underdog when it comes to the 3 and all that other stuff. Aesthetically, I love Bulbasaur. He's really cool. The bulb, you know, it grows and opens up as he evolves. Aesthetically, a lizard that turns into a lizard that turns into a flying lizard. A turtle that turns into a turtle that turns into a turtle. I know, and the other one is like, it's a plant that turns into a bigger plant that turns into a bigger plant, but Bulbasaur's cuter. Anyway, in this situation, I'm gonna grab Bulbasaur. In the gift-only run, there's a very good chance I'm gonna grab Charmander, simply because, yes, having a Fire Dragon would be absolutely amazing. Along with Absol, Froakie, and Chespin. But I can still technically have... Oh, I just said his name, the fire one. Because it's a Fire Psychic, I think, on stage 2, air quotes. But yeah, I want my boy. Oh, and of course, it's a cheap mission. Here's a free extra Pokemon. The mission's complete. You could have at least given me... Sure. Okay, that's funny. He's my 80th one to finish a challenge. Nice. That's my boy! I like this mission. This mission, it's a fetch quest, but it's the best kind of fetch quest. It's a quest that says, hey, did you know that you could buy these things from this location? I would appreciate it if you would take this bag of money, go grab one of them to finish this mission, and in theory, you will pick up a new Pokemon, and at the same time, you will learn about a new location. I will say this. There are 3 fossils in here that you can buy. They're simple. I think every single fossil is a rock type, which means when I do another run, the very first one I might actually do besides the gift run is rock, because Obviously, it has its own weaknesses. It has its own set of Pokemon that it can work with, but Rock is distinct from Ground, and there might be a Pokemon or two. I think Larvitar is one of them. I think Larvitar actually, no, it's just known for using ground or dark moves, I think. I think that's a rock ground type. Which means, yes, I have a perfect Pokemon to eventually grab and use. I love Larvitar. But I would love to do a rock run because it would cost me 70,000, but I can have 3 separate fossils to run with and eventually other rock types, which I think would be amazing. I'm gonna do the Jaw fossil just because honestly, at the end of the day, I think I prefer it. Let me look at something real quick. Oh, hold on, I saw it. You think I didn't see it? Let's see, rock. The one in the bottom right corner of that list, I think is a ground type. It's like normal ground, so that doesn't have anything. I think the Barnacle, I think that might be rock. That would be my first option, and definitely a Pokemon I have never seen. So that's fair. And then you've got none of those are rocks. None of those are rocks. Where's Fox? None of those are rocks. Barnacle's back. None of those are rock. Rock actually might be really hard. Granted, if you have money, it's not that hard. 5. Let's go to 6. Where's... I was just... Okay, 7. When you reach a certain point, you then will be able to reach these new ones. The Hippo, I think, is actually ground. Where's 8? I think... I need to look at my Pokedex, actually. I don't know. I think one of those is ground. Or rock. Carbuncle, I think, is rock. This one, I know none of them are rock. The one in the top right is absolutely rock, I think. It's actually what it looks like. Yeah. Link a Nintendo account. Yeah, ground. I'm gonna flick through until I see something that says rock. Yep, that's what I thought. Binacle, I believe Binacle evolves. Yeah, it does. The Binacle evolves. That's the first? Yeah, that's the first and only rock form until... Let's see... This one might be terrible. I'm not saying Carpink is terrible, but I think having it would be terrible. It probably would have to be like a setup Pokemon. I think that means that, quite literally, except for... That's a lot of Pokemon. Of course, it's all like green. Nothing new in this game, which is a little... Granted, it's just like X amount of time past X and Y. It's not likely that there would be anything new, unless they're Pokemon from generations you've never played. But still, X and Y had access to every Pokemon ever. They stopped doing it during the Switch period, with the whole, like, every Pokemon can be in the game. Yeah, normal ground. So, if you do a The very first, the only rock you have access to in the entire game is going to be the Barnacle. And even then, it's just like, wow, that's tough. You might have to sit there and farm the Barnacle the moment you have access to Area 2. Then, once you've farmed that particular dude, until you're happy with it, you're actually just stuck with one Pokemon the entire time. I will say this. I'm aware that, yes, the Stone Emporium is here. You could probably drop by at any time, but you're definitely going to have to farm for money. And then you're going to have to wait until this mission is available. Okay. This one? No, it's not request. I don't know where it is. Is it in the map? Yes, it is. Its name. I think it was like mission 20. 22. Oh, it's still active. I'm sorry. 27. Yeah, so this is like a little later. I would have to... Ooh, actually gives you hard stone. Holy crap. Nice. I appreciate it. Don't worry, I still don't know how to do buttons. The mission 27. Oh, man. I feel like that would be so far. You would have to do a lot with just one Barnacle. Although, the Carbink, I think, is accessible at any point, right? It's on a rooftop. So realistically, the moment you go and do the 3 mandatory quests for the researcher, you can head over to the left, grab a Carbink, so that you have 2 Pokemon. But you will have to have those 2 Pokemon until you can afford to buy the 3 fossils, but you can't turn them in until you have level, or mission 27 to flip them. But then you would gain 3 at once. You'd have a team of 5 unique rocks. I mean, I did, but where would it... There it is. Because, yeah, I think the gimmick behind all fossils is that they're all rocks, but every single rock traditionally is a different secondary type from each other. Tyrant! Man. Yeah, I figured he would just give it to you. Oh, does this count as... Wait a minute. Oh, this kind of breaks things a little bit for me in my head. Hold on. I want to ask this theoretical question. If you buy the stone, hand it to him, and then he gives you a Pokemon back, I don't think that counts as a gift. But the whole point of a gift is you get the Pokemon without having to actually catch it. Like, the Heracross doesn't count because you have to go catch a Pikachu and then you have to do the exchange, and the whole point of the gift-only run is you're not trying to catch Pokemon, like, at all. You're trying to... Which, yeah, in order to beat the Professor's challenge at the very beginning of the game, you have to capture 5 Pokemon? You have to have 5 registered Pokemon in your Pokedex, which means you kind of automatically fail, but if you can release any Pokemon, then you could release them right after. I don't think you have another Pokedex challenge after that. But the problem is that... Because in this one, I'm just using ghosts only, but I'm just catching everything because I'm farming up TMs and stuff like that. So how does that work? What's the logistics behind that? If I catch... If I catch a Pokemon, obviously I have to use... Like, at some point, I'm going to have to use, you know, Pokemon for HMs and stuff like that. Which is both true and not true. Because if the point is to be real specific, then you have to catch the Pokemon for the challenge, but then you could always release them. Then the entire time you're playing, you can only use Pokemon that you didn't capture. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna say. A fossil is not considered a gift Pokemon because you're going and acquiring the Pokemon essentially, and then you're just having it restored. Even though you're paying for the Pokemon, right? And then you're having to use a device in order to do that. It's not necessarily being gifted to you. It's more like you acquired it just without a Pokeball, turned it in, and you got the Pokemon. But I will say this. In the gift-only run, I will say there is a little bit of redundancy allowed because this is a mission that says, hey, now you have the process to do all of this. But in the terms of this situation, he asked for the fossil, he flipped it, and then decided, you know what? Because you entertained this entire endeavor, I'm going to go ahead and gift this to you. So, in the gift-only run, I am also allowed to use one fossil. I can't do this obviously with the rest of them, but I think this is a cool way to just say, oh, you get a little bit of redundancy because you get to use a fossil again from the gift run. But I also don't know how many other gift Pokemon there are. I haven't done all the side quests. I haven't really mapped this out. So I'll say this. I already have a good idea of the other Pokemon that I can use. For coverage, what I may end up doing is using the Sail Fossil in the gift run because it'll be Rock Ice. It has its own weaknesses. It's kind of a weird Pokemon for me. But it was the first one I picked in X and Y, and it's got Ice. So I think it's going to be the most important form of coverage for the gift-only team. However, in the Rock team, all's fair. Speaking of which, I do need to remember that on this file, it's a little hairy already because the whole point was ghost only. Because my starter has to be used all the way up until I get a ghost, obviously I could have just stopped the moment I got a Ghastly and then just used nothing else but ghosts. But in this particular run, I decided to myself, hey, I'll do 5 ghosts and 1 of any type, because 1, I'm gonna have to use other Pokemon to use Rock Smash anyway. So that was a little bit of freedom. And obviously I have my Rock Smash user, but I also have Tepig. Specifically because there might just be situations where my ghost types just will completely falter, especially against, Houndoom that knows Bite. Or, Aegislash against a Houndoom that knows Bite and Fire Fang. That being said, the Rock team, we'll see about that, because obviously they all will falter to water except for maybe the Sail Fossil. Let's see. Barnacle won't. Well, it's not like water is resistant to water. I don't think that's how it works. So technically Barnacle should take super advantage, take bonus damage, super effective damage from water. But again, that's another thing we'll just have to see. I already knew Ghost was going to be a problem because of dark moves being prevalent and dark types being prevalent. So I have the ability to use 5 Ghosts and then 1 of anything to kind of help out balance the team, which works because I'm still using Tepig. That being said, in the gift-only run, I have plenty of options, I'll be fine. And then the rock-only run, we'll see if water ends up being enough of a problem. I think it's like water and grass. We'll see if those end up being enough of a problem, because if the Sail Fossil does what I hope it does, it might just basically say, I don't care, and just has advantage in general. So I shouldn't need a, 6th Pokemon that could be anything. Honestly, I'm really excited, actually. As much as it's kind of a pain, like how long the story is and like how long the intro is, I'm actually kind of genuinely excited to do the gift only, because there's some really cool Pokemon I want to use, and the rock only because that does seem kind of fun. Let's see. I do need to figure out multi-streaming, just so that I can also be doing this on Twitch. Obviously, this will save on YouTube. That's where I want it to save. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I guess I shouldn't have doubted a level 38 Aegislash punching him really hard. Okay, this is kind of funny considering I'm a ghost type and this is a normal type person, so it's like, I mean, yeah, you're right. Nothing ghost of mine can touch it, but if you use normal moves, I think you're completely, I believe. Don't worry, I only have maybe one ghost move on this Haunter. Give me Dream Eater, please, please, please. I just realized I'm a Haunter. Give me Dream Eater. Yeah, it didn't do a single thing other than agility. Yeah, he was completely outclassed. Also, I'll make this clear. I've played Pokemon Legends Arceus. That was not a Lopunny. A Lopunny is only a Lopunny if it's Alpha, because that is a big mother trucker, and it is awesome. Get out of the dumpster. Lopunny is fine. I love Lopunny, especially in Legends Arceus. But when it comes to any other specific Pokemon, that's one of the ones I would refuse to have ever, except in Alpha form. As it's See, this is the embodiment of me, for sure. I don't know all the type matchups perfectly. It is a lot to keep up with. But you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. I feel comfortable playing a game where I can take a ghost move, hit a fire type really hard, and just use moves that aren't super effective, and I'm fine. Okay, so I've now noticed with the 3 missions that I've done, there is a series of missions that you can do that specifically held item things. Like, I did the rocks, I did the fossil, which gives you hard rock. I did a ground type battle that gave me soft sand. So, yeah, there's a series of quests that interact with each type that gives you the held item to buff that type. That's what I'm noticing. Just realized the mic was not on. Wonder what I did say. The mission's cute. but I think the unnecessary constantly fading to black causes this mission to drag on unnecessarily. Okay, good. Thank you for teleporting. Whoa, 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 wait, what? Am I being gifted? Oh, that's cool! Hold on, wait a minute! That's cool! It's level 9, oh my god! It's so tiny! Wow, they give you there's a lot of, wow, the gift run really is just for the heck of it. It may not even necessarily be that difficult. You're just gonna have to pick your partners wisely. Huh. Alright. Alright, well, let's see. I really should be taking notes. Alright, I've got a sticky note up. Alright, so that's 7? 7 gifted Pokemon so far? That's pretty neat. I'm excited. I believe that top right one is the Fennekin. Not the Fennekin, sorry, the Froakie. I get the feeling that because of the name, it's like, oh, you should get used to making sure, you know, Pokemon are holding items and stuff like that. And, I don't mean to be difficult, but at the same time, Although, I do need to give the Quick Claw to somebody. You know what? Just eat a big ol' mega. Yeah, that's not gonna help you. You need a citrus berry. Okay. Oh, okay. This should be neat. Yeah, and that poison jab immediately pays off, reminding me that it's like, oh yeah, it's good against grass. Oh yeah, it's good against grass. Okay, poison jab, calm down. Sableye, Sableye. That's one of the moves we were wondering was in the game. Why would I pay $3,000 to beat up people? You're gonna have to give me like a better reason than. Why would I pay to beat up people? Alright, anyway, let's check out this move that me and a friend of mine were like really wondering if it was still in the game or not. Because this is a weird move. At the bottom? It is. Use a sacrifice a small amount of HP to create a substitute for itself. Okay, so it's literally just says scrap a piece of HP, bam, here's this thing. What I'm assuming one thing and one thing only. When you perform substitute, it probably creates a small doll, as it always does. It does the Poké Doll, but it's either going to do one of two things. Either it's going to taunt, which means the CPU is going to be interested more in fighting it than your actual Pokemon, which essentially means when it takes a hit, it's probably going to be, it's probably going to disappear unless somehow whatever move they use on it doesn't KO it in the first shot. It's either going to create a doll and it's going to taunt, or it's going to create a doll, and it just depends on if you're closer or if the doll is closer to the Pokemon. I am almost willing to test it, because if you want to be really, really, really weird about it, it should be a copy of your stats. I think it is. Because the whole point is, like, when you shed your HP in order to summon the substitute, you know, it has, like, that portion of HP, I think. But it also has, like, your resistances and stuff like that. So if you throw out Aegislash, while it's in defensive form, in theory, it should be really tanky and resist a lot of specific things because it has the steel typing. But I'm also just really not interested in using it at all either. Yeah, U-turn is actually kind of cute. It punches really hard, and then they just quickly retreat back to you, rather than switching something out. I don't know. I think it would be amusing to test, but I don't want to do it right now, is what I'll say. But, okay, cool. Knock out maybe not every single one of these quests, but I'll knock out maybe a handful more or whatever, and then push with the story. Because obviously I already out-level all of these missions. Okay, it's what I figured. I'll have to dig, obviously. Don't worry, I'm gonna be really slow and unable to identify things quickly. I have a, yeah, I should have one of these. Yeah, okay, cool. I literally have them all in the same place. Yes, I would love to drink a tea made from head hair. need to step away and do a few things. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, because obviously no one's watching. But I'm going to end it, but leave it at this menu, and then when I come back, I'll restart everything and keep going. But I'm basically creating a snack for me to eat on, but also taking care of a couple things.